Up next on U.S. Bank Business Watch, presented by the Business Courier. Whittling down the short list. Who has what it takes to replace the CEO of a company with $85 billion in annual sales? Plus, a side of sarcasm with your fries. The joint your mama warned you about opens a new tri-state location. And gone to the dogs, a UC student takes two of her passions and turns them into a viable business. U.S. Bank Business Watch is next. Good morning and welcome to U.S. Bank Business Watch. I'm Peg Rasconi. On the Business Courier front page centerpiece this week, A.G. Lafley owns more than $40 million worth of Procter & Gamble stock and has a condo overlooking Sarasota Bay in Florida. So why is the CEO of P&G still in Cincinnati instead of relaxing on a white sand beach? He's still here because he's whittling down the CEO shortlist. Lafley returned on an interim basis last May to fix concerns about the price of company stock. So who has what it takes to replace Lafley at a company that has operations in 80 countries, $85 billion in annual sales, and 121,000 employees worldwide? The job is expected to pay $16 to $20 million per year. The chief executive of P&G has always been promoted from within, and 5 group presidents who oversee business segments that generate billions of dollars in earnings appear to be the likely contenders. For now, Lafley seems focused on restructuring operations, but Business Courier reporter Barrett Brunsman is looking beyond that and joins Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer here in the studio with more on when and how Lafley will ramp up efforts to replace himself. Rob and Barrett.
Peg, thanks. Barrett, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Rob.
So how long is A.G. Lafley going to stay? He was enjoying life. He left P&G on a high note back in, I think, 2009. Everything was fine and dandy. He hit a home run. He has to leave Florida, come back to beautiful Cincinnati. How long is he going to stay?
Rob, it could be a couple of years, according to the market analysts and P&G insiders that I spoke with. Part of the reason for that is because A.G. Lafley is engaged in a restructuring of the company right now. He set up 4 distinct new divisions, and the people on our short list, 4 of them, are the heads of those divisions, along with the 5th person on our list, who happens to be Melanie Healy. She's the group president for North America, which is the largest market for P&G. It's about 40% of all their sales. And so A.G. is focused on getting those sales back up to the point they need to be where he can drive the value of shares to a higher level as well.
And how's that going so far, by the way, since he's gotten back in last May?
The last time A.G. Lafley was the CEO of P&G, he doubled the sales for the company. Took them to just about their current level, almost $85 billion a year. Right now, shares of stock since the time he got back till right now are relatively flat. It's almost the same thing. We're talking about a few dimes difference. So he's got a lot of work left yet to do to get those share price up.
Now, when you did talk to the analysts and some other insiders this week, and they talked to you about what Lafley's first job was, and Peg mentioned this, that he's trying to stabilize the idea of P&G. Is that a job you can get done in 2 years? I mean, or do you think he is, again, simply a headhunter that happens to cost a lot of money?
I believe he's hopeful he can get it done in that time, and frankly, the market analysts I spoke to said that we'll all be very much better off if he can, because that means these businesses will be successful. If he's not capable of doing it, it means that sales are not going well for P&G. Now, I can tell you this, it's a broad, massive company with operations in 80 different countries, and there are some things beyond control of a CEO. Let's take just one example, Venezuela. Currency fluctuations there could cost P&G $250 million in profits.
Wow.
So when you're the head of this global company, there are some things, you know, even if you're as adept at fine-tuning things as AG, it might take a little longer than you had anticipated.
And P&G's been in this situation before where they had to kind of have somebody come back and help when a CEO didn't quite work out, right?
The first time AG got the job as CEO, he replaced Dirk Yeager. And again, that was because the shares of stock, the price had plunged. The same thing happened under Bob McDonald. That it wasn't quite as bad, but the shares were sort of moribund. And people really, there's a great pressure on the CEO of this company, not just to know everything there is about marketing and sales of Tide laundry detergent, but how to drive those shares, because so many people in Cincinnati and around the world are investors in this company.
Well, obviously we're going to be watching this very closely, and we'll be tracking that stock along with everybody else. And thus ends the baldest segment in TV history. Peg, back to you.
Well, thanks, gentlemen, very much. Trustees in Westchester shoot down plans for a new grocery store in their community. All 3 trustees voted no to a zoning change for the Crossings of Beckett project. Developers wanted to bring a Kroger marketplace to the location. Trustees say too many questions went unanswered. There were also concerns from residents about what would happen to the current Kroger building if the store moved to a new location.
I'm very pleased to see our trustees do the job that they've been voted to do.
They made the right decision for Westchester. I was very pleased that we're honored that they're our trustees, and they listened and they made the right decision.
Consultant for Kroger at the meeting declined to comment. No word if Kroger would try again for a new marketplace. Well, in the meantime, Cincinnati-based Kroger could still be in the running to buy a California-based supermarket rivalry. Kroger might still be making a run at buying Safeway. Safeway agreed last week to be acquired by private equity firm Cerberus Capital Management in a deal valued at $9.2 billion. But Kroger could still make an offer. It would cost it more, though. Kroger would not only have to outbid Cerberus, it would also have to pay an extra $150 million breakup fee for Safeway to cancel its deal. Kroger is not commenting on the bid. The Christ Hospital Health Network is partnering with Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine to provide comprehensive medical care to athletes at more than a dozen local high schools. The arrangement expands on the team doctor concept, a specialty of Beacon, to include treatment in areas where Christ has expertise. Those areas include women's health, allergies, and cardiac care. The CEO of Beacon says the partnership is a way for Beacon to remain independent at a time when many orthopedic surgeons who specialize in sports-related injuries are becoming employees of large health systems. Well, the CEO of a local IT company says growth potential was the main reason he chose his current profession. Mark Stuhlreier is president and CEO of Contingent Network Services. Family, wife Jennifer, and 3 children. Advice from his dad led him into the IT field after leaving the Marine Corps in the early 1990s. The decision led him to Contingent in 2000. Well, since then, Contingent has been steadily climbing the list of the largest IT consulting firms in the region.
He suggested making sure that I knew which industry I wanted before I started to look at specific companies or jobs. He said pick an industry that had growth opportunities that were going to last a long time.
Well, Stuhlreier says that until 2009, when the recession hit, his company had only known growth. The owners of a new brew house in Over the Rhine recently revealed the interior design of the 13,000 square foot restaurant and brewery. Taft's Ale House is expected to open this fall. It's being built in a church in Over the Rhine that was once slated for demolition. Located at 1429 Ray Street, the brewery will crank out 3 beers on a consistent basis, plus 9 more that will be continually changing. Taft's Ale House will have 3 levels. The main floor of the building will be the 2nd floor, which will have a large beer hall with 8 communal tables. Dick's Last Resort, a nationally known restaurant brand, is now open at Newport on the Levee. The new restaurant and bar anchors the corner of 3rd and Saratoga Streets and will be open for lunch, dinner, and late into the night. The restaurant brand is referred to as the joint your mama warned you about. The chain is famous for the sarcastic attitude of its servers, so prepare yourself for a side of insults with your meal.
We've been looking at this market for quite a while, and this particular location fit our bill as far as being in the entertainment section, where with all the amenities that are here with movies, aquarium, bowling, comedy store, we felt this is where people come to have a good time, and that's what we do in our concept, is provide an atmosphere for all our guests to have a ball.
And from the noise level there, it sounds like they are succeeding. From pet project to viable startup, a tri-state woman turns her love of dogs and longboarding into a real business. 23-year-old UC student Carly Mellencamp started Buddy's Box in January of last year. It's a subscription service where Mellencamp provides customized care packages with dog toys, treats, and grooming products each month. Mellencamp also spun off a side business, Buddy's Boarding, combining two of her passions.
We've been riding our longboards with our dogs for years now, and we decided that this is a really great service that other people would love. So yeah, it's just really fun, and we like to hang out with dogs and get them out and active.
Mellencamp also has a dog obedience and training certificate, so she offers training during boarding sessions. The young entrepreneur is set to graduate from UC in April with a master's degree in communications. Up next on U.S. Bank Business Watch, an eye-catching protest at Procter & Gamble's downtown headquarters. Why one of the Greenpeace activists involved is denying a charge against him. Plus, the Newport Aquarium is in the national spotlight. The attraction's ranking and latest accolade next on U.S. Bank Business Watch. Some news you may have missed if you're not reading the Business Courier online every day or following on Twitter and Facebook. Toyota Motor Engineering and Manufacturing North America is embarking on a $1 million expansion at its Erlanger Technical Center to expand the facility's lab space with more meeting space, rooms, and additional seating. It's part of a $2.1 billion investment that includes 11 expansions across North America. GE Aviation finalizes a deal with a low-cost Indian airline valued at more than $1 billion. The deal with SpiceJet for CFM International LEAP 1B engines to power 42 Boeing 737 MAX aircraft is valued at $1.1 billion. The first full LEAP ground test began in September and have logged more than 300 hours and 400 cycles during about 5 weeks of testing. Joseph Beth Booksellers plans to open a 4,000-square-foot store inside Christ Hospital in Mount Auburn. In addition to stocking best-selling books, the store will carry textbooks for the Christ College of Nursing and Health Sciences. The new store, to be integrated with the hospital's 1,100-square-foot pharmacy, is scheduled to open in the summer of 2015. One of the 9 Greenpeace activists who hung protest banners from P&G headquarters downtown last week is disputing claims by Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters that the stunt could have caused thousands of dollars in damage and endangered the lives of emergency responders. Protester Jesse Coleman says the group does not believe in property damage, and no one involved damaged the windows through which they gained access to balconies on the 12th floor of P&G's Twin Towers on March 4th. The question is significant because it could affect the severity of the criminal charges against the activists, and as could the dollar amount linked to the alleged damage. The Newport Aquarium is considered one of the best aquariums in the country by U.S. City Traveler, an online travel guide. The aquarium ranks number 9 on a list of the top 25. The article highlights the largest gallery of jellyfish in the Midwest, its collection of penguins, and animals from the rainforest. The Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta took the top spot. Well, making important financial decisions, especially following the 2008 housing crisis, is something that for most families has become increasingly complex. In today's Economic 360, U.S. Bank's Mike Denneman and Scott Farrell, Senior Vice President and Wealth Management Advisor, give us some insight on how the bank is helping its high net worth clients to navigate these challenging times. Mike and Scott.
Thank you, Peg. Good morning, Scott. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me.
So we heard just a moment ago, Peg mentioned your title, Wealth Management Advisor. Give us a little bit of insight into what exactly your role is.
Sure. Mike, in short, within the U.S. Bank Private Client Reserve, a wealth management advisor leads a team of professionals that develops, implements, and updates long-term wealth strategies for our customers.
Okay. So obviously, customer service is important to any business. So what does that approach mean for your clients?
Sure. Well, one common theme in all of our customers is that they're already highly successful in their own right. They've already grown a tremendous amount of wealth. Our role is to help them not only grow it a little bit more, but to manage and protect it for their lives, but also for successive generations. And what's unique is that they not only demand that we provide the technical expertise, the creative ideas and solutions for them, but that's expected. What is taken a step further, though, is the service aptitude that we must provide. We have to be present. We have to be there when they need us with those creative solutions to help them with whatever might come up along the way.
Sure, sure. Well, you mentioned this concept of having a team around the client a moment ago. What does that team look like, and then how is all of that pulled together?
Sure, great question. Well, here's what I would say. I would say that, you know, the one thing is that many of our clients have complexity around their financial lives. We believe that that's best served through a team of professionals. So just to run through, that team of professionals consists of an investment portfolio manager, a private banker, a trust officer, a financial planner, and an insurance specialist, among others. We also work with many outside advisors as well. Back to the service point. The clients expect that we're going to bring all those people together to serve their needs when they need it. The wealth management advisor is responsible for seeking out and looking ahead to when all of those different specialties are going to come together for the needs that they demand. I'll tell you a quick story. You know, one of the great things and satisfying moments we have working with our customers is helping them, for example, you know, solve for the funding of a child or grandchild's college education, or even better yet, along the way, maybe they have the ability to make a charitable gift or charitable planning. That not only helps all the client, the bank, but also our community as a whole.
Sure, sure, that's excellent. Well, Scott, we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peg, back to you.
Thank you, Mike and Scott. Well, still to come on U.S. Bank Business Watch, it's been a bizarre few months for the Kenton County Airport Board, but the major drama might be behind us after an overhaul. The new board chair joins us next on U.S. Bank Business Watch. And congratulations to Stacy Tapke, an assistant attorney in the Kenton County Attorney's Office, another of our 40 under 40 honorees. This morning's Business Insight. There's been a lot of change over the past few months for the Kenton County Airport Board, the group that runs CVG. Kenton County Judge Executive Steve Arlinghouse overhauled the board, replacing the board chairman and vice chairman after they resigned. One of those new names is a very familiar one to Northern Kentucky, Bill Robinson. He joins Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio. Rob and Bill.
Peg, thanks, Bill. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Rob.
First question's got to be, you've done so much, you've been so active, so busy. Why did you agree to come back and take this job?
Well, first of all, I've lived my whole life in greater Cincinnati. Born in Covington, grew up in Mount Auburn, Coreyville, and Clifton, the Friars Boys Club. I love this community. We raised our sons here, and now we're helping to raise our grandchildren here. This is home for us. And as you and I talked a little bit earlier, the airport is really the key to economic development in greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, and economic development is the key to the quality of life here. So it's something that is important, and I consider it a privilege to be asked to come back to the airport board and work with a wonderful board and a solid management there to continue the success that has been achieved in the last 12 to 18 months.
So what do you want to accomplish over the next couple years? You know, you can never guarantee anything in the airline industry or in the airport world, but what are a couple things you could tell people that you'd really like to see in the next couple years?
What we'd like to see is for the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport to become the airport of choice, not for so many, but for everyone in our overall community, because it's our airport. It's a regional provider of service that's critical not only to the business community but to families all over our community when it comes to vacations, and as I say, it's an economic engine. What I would like to see is that we continue to grow. We're never going to be a Delta hub like we were, but we need to remember that this airport is very successful in terms of our competition. We have more flights per day than Columbus, Indianapolis, or Louisville. We have flights to 37 of the 40 largest commercial markets in the United States. We have an airport that, as of this month, has no mortgaged indebtedness. We have 3 parallel runways, and we're only one of 6 airports in the United States to have that. And we are putting increasing amounts of emphasis on service to our customers. And we're going to continue to improve that. This airport is successful, and our goal is to make it even more successful with a focus on service to the customers.
Now, Delta still considers CVG a hub. They've said that. It happens to be their smallest hub, but they still consider it a hub. What does that mean, and is Delta still take up a lot of space in your day, in your mind, or do you spend a lot more time now trying to talk to other airlines than just the big boy?
Both. Both. Delta's critically important to us. We've had a great relationship with Delta. We're disappointed that the merger of Delta with Northwest resulted in our not being the gigantic hub really we were for the size population that we have. But on the other hand, we have more Delta flights now than our regional population would justify were we not part of the overall Delta system. So we treasure that, and we continue to make sure that we meet Delta's needs and the passengers who are using Delta. We also, I'm pleased to say, we also focus on bringing in other airlines. In just the last 12 to 18 months, as you know, we've brought in 4 additional airlines. We just had the announcement of Allegiant last week, adding 6 flights. We're now up over 175 flights a day at lower costs, and that's a success that we want to build on.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. Keep that Paris flight. That's an important one.
I agree.
And good luck to you, Bill.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Peg, back to you.
Thank you, Rob and Bill. And thank you very much for joining us this morning for U.S. Bank Business Watch. We'll be back next Sunday and every Sunday morning here on Local 12 at 6:30 and at 10 a.m. on the CW. For more business news all week long, visit the Business Courier online, sign up for daily emails, and follow on Twitter and Facebook. The address is CincinnatiBusinessCourier.com. I'm Peg Rasconi. Hope you have a great Sunday.